G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. My name's Cody and today I'm here to give you my round 24 NRL tips of 2023. Now last week in round 23 we managed to get 5 out of 8 games correct. I was pretty disappointed with my boys losing 26-16. We could have won that match easily, but nope, we lost. But oh well, 5 out of 8, it's not too bad, it's more than half, but let's hope we get a better round this week. Without further ado, let's get into my round 24 NRL tips of 2023. And the first game to kick off round 24 of the NRL is between Manly Warringah Sea Eagles and the Penrith Panthers, taking place at 4 Pines Park. So Manly are coming off a loss over the Roosters at the Sydney Cricket Ground last Thursday night, losing 26 points to 16. Miraculously, they managed to score that many points despite the Roosters leading like 20 points to 6 or whatever at half time. Unreal for that one. And as for Penrith, too good over Melbourne. Never expecting to lose. They won 26 points to 6 against Melbourne, which pretty much they're going for the minor premiership once again and potentially doing a three-peat. I believe they will not do a three-peat. I mean, anything is still possible at this stage, but we just have to wait and see. We've only got 4 more rounds to go, and then it's the final series. And anyway, in the past 10 games between the two clubs, Penrith have won 8 of the past 10, but Penrith have won 7 straight against Manly. So Manly have not won against Penrith since 2018, where they beat them 18 points to 10, which was at Penrith Stadium back in that year. So for this game, it's pretty obvious. I'm going to go Penrith 13 plus. Manly's they still got another chance, but I don't see them winning this match, and this could potentially end the Manly's chance of making the top 8 this year. So I'm going Penrith to win by, let's go 18 scoreline. Let's go 32-14. And on to the Friday night fixtures. The first one kicking off at 6 p.m. at PointsBet Stadium. It is the Cronulla Sharks taking on the Gold Coast Titans. The Titans coming off another loss once again against the Warriors, losing 28 points to 18 up there at Seabus last week. And as for the Sharks, they travelled all the way to the other side on the west coast of Australia, in Western Australia, in Perth. They defeated my boys in the doubleheader at Optus Stadium, winning 26 points to 16. They led 20-0 at half time. They were too good for my boys. We could have won that game, but I'll get into that shortly. But yeah, so the Sharks top 8, hoping they can stay in the top 8. Still alive after they had lost 3 games in a row before beating the Bunnies last week, which was a surprise, but can't get everything, and our top 8's on the line as well. And as for Gold Coast, their season's officially done. They cannot make the top 8. They're not a good team anyway. But in the past 10 games between these two, Sharks have won 8 games in out of the past 10, which includes winning 8 straight. So Gold Coast have not beaten the Sharks since 2017, where they last beat them 16 points to 12. And that was also the last time they won in Cronulla as well, back in 2017. So for this game, despite many people writing them off, I'll still go Cronulla to win this game. I'll go Cronulla to win 1-12. I'll go Cronulla to win by 10 points. Let's go scoreline of 26-16. And the final game to wrap up the Friday night fixtures is taking place at for the final time potentially at the Gabba, the Brisbane Cricket Ground. It is the Brisbane Broncos taking on the Parramatta Eels. The Eels still have their finals hopes still alive after they managed to just beat the Dragons, coming back to win 26 points to 20 at CommBank last week. And as for Broncos, too good against the Cowboys. That's another game I lost for a tip. Broncos won over their arch rivals, 30 points to 14 up there in Townsville on the weekend. 3 p.m. afternoon game. Who would have thought? That's a rarity, that's for sure. Now, in the past 10 games between these two clubs, Eels have actually won 7 of the past 10. The last time the Broncos won in Brisbane against the Eels was back in 2019, where the Broncos won 17-16 against the Eels, and that was at Suncorp Stadium. So Eels have got a pretty good record against the Broncos up in um, Queensland in recent times. Now, these two have already met earlier in the year, with Brisbane winning 26-16, and that was all the way up in Darwin. And Brisbane have lost 7 of their past 10 against the Eels, but they have won 2 of the past 3 games, though. One of them was down in Sydney last year, and the other one up in Brisbane earlier in the year. So for this game, I'll go Broncos to obviously win. I think that they've been outstanding this year. They might drop a game eventually, but I don't think they will. So I'll go Broncos to win. I'll go 13 plus as well. Not a huge one. I'll go by 14. We'll go 28-14 for Broncos to win. Now we are on to the Super Saturday fixtures. The first one kicking off at 3 p.m. and it is my boys in a rivalry game against the St George Illawarra Dragons. Rabbits and Dragons go back all the way back into the 60s where they battle each other. Rabbits try to beat them in the 60s and that, but Dragons were too good for half of that decade. But anyway, we take on the Dragons at 3 p.m. up in Cairns, returning to Ballor Park for the first time since 2018. So the Bunnies used to take this fixture from, I think, 2013 to 2018. And we have won 3 out of 6. 2 losses to the Cowboys. I think the other one was to the Raiders. We've gotten a win over the Cowboys, Titans, and the Knights. So this will be the first time we've played a Sydney team up in Cairns, and I don't like the idea going to Cairns for the Bunnies because I thought they would never go back there, but there you go, blame the Women's FIFA World Cup for it. But anyway, last week the Bunnies shockingly lost to the Sharks. I was so disappointed, especially in that first half. Too many knock-ons, too many errors. That's what cost the game. They could have won it in the last 25 minutes or so, but too many errors, too inconsistent. I mean, if we lose this game, we're going to probably fall out of the top 8, most likely. And as for the Dragons, they led against the Eels, but ultimately they collapsed and they lost 26 points to 20 against the... they lost 26-20 against the Eels last week. In the past 10 games between these two, Bunnies have won 8 of the past 10, but Dragons have actually won the last 2 encounters. They won the earlier game in the year where they won 36-30 at Conquer Oval, and they won also last year where they beat us 32-12 for the first time in a long time last year. But for this game, I do have faith in our boys to win this one. Yes, I know we've only won 3 of the past 9 games in the regular season at the moment, or however how long. But I'm pretty sure we can win this game. If we don't win, we just can't win a home fixture for some reason. I know this is a neutral venue for both teams, but we can't win a home game, and our home record is pretty terrible. Our home record is, I think it's 3-7 now, and compared to our away record, it's way better. So for this one, I'll still go to Bunnies to win 1-12. I'll go to Rabbits to win by 8. I'm going to go 26-18 as the score. Up the Bunnies. Our next game kicking off at 5:30 p.m. over there in New Zealand. 7:30 p.m. kickoff 5:30 p.m. here in New South Wales. 7:30 over there in New Zealand. This game, if I'm getting this correct, it is taking place at FMG Stadium in Walikeo, Hamilton. The West Tigers are taking a home fixture to New Zealand as a thank you to the New Zealand Warriors who sacrificed themselves for the couple seasons that happened during the COVID period. But I'd just like to say before I get into this, thank you West Tigers for giving up one home game to go to New Zealand. Thank you. But without further ado, let's get into the game. So the West Tigers are taking on the Warriors over there in Hamilton. Last week, the Tigers were just short of getting a win over the Raiders, losing 22-18. And as for the Warriors, they are coming off their third and final bye. And the week before that, sorry, my apologies, they didn't come off the bye last week. That was the week before that. They took a win over the Titans, winning 28 points to 18 up there at Seabus last week. Good on that. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, the Warriors have won 6 of the past 10 fixtures, which includes winning the last 5 games. So the Tigers have not won against the Warriors since 2019. Last time they won in New Zealand was back in 2016 at Mount Smart Stadium, where they won 36-24 against the Warriors. Now, for this fixture, obviously, we'll back the Warriors. They've been outstanding this year. And it's guaranteed they're going to be finishing top 4 this year. I don't see them dropping another game unless something shocking happens, but I don't think so. They've been too good this year. I'll go Warriors to win 13 plus as well. I'll go Warriors to win by 20. Scoreline going 34-14. Go the Wars. And the final game to wrap up Super Saturday, it is a round 1 rematch of their first ever game. It is the Sydney Roosters taking on the Dolphins at Allianz Stadium. The Roosters returning to Allianz Stadium after being at the SCG for 2 games due to the Women's FIFA World Cup happening at that venue at the Sydney Football Stadium. And as for the Dolphins, this will be their first time travelling to the Moore Park area. And it's not really much to go off here, but last week the Dolphins are coming off a 1-point loss over the Bulldogs. Hang on. Oh no. That's wrong round. The Dolphins lost to the Knights in Perth. My apologies. Thinking of the wrong round. I do apologise for that, guys. Dolphins lost to the Knights. Only lost by 2 points in a very competitive game, 30 points to 28. And as for the Roosters, too good against Manly. They still have a mathematical chance to make the top 8. I don't want them to because I hate them so much. They won against the Sea Eagles, winning 26 points to 16. And this will be the second time these two will ever clash. They met in round 1, the Dolphins winning their first ever game against the Roosters. And that was a shock. But these two teams have come a different way since then, and they are in similar positions, 12th versus 14th. For this game, I will go to Roosters to win. They're back at Allianz. Surely they don't lose another game at Allianz. They've lost their last 2 at Allianz this year. One against the Panthers. I think the other one was who they also lose to. Not too sure who they lost to, but I'm sure someone in the comments will let me know about that. So go Roosters to win 1-12. Roosters to win by 8. Let's go scoreline 28-20. Now on to our Sunday games now. The first one kicking off at 2 p.m. in Amy Park. Melbourne returning to Amy Park for the first time in a couple of weeks. They take on the Canberra Raiders, who have a pretty good record over them in Melbourne in recent times. The Raiders coming off a 4-point win over the Tigers, winning 22 points to 18. And as for Melbourne, lost by 20 points against the Panthers, 26-6 at Bluebet Stadium last week. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, Canberra have won 5 games apiece, but Canberra have won the past 5 fixtures against Melbourne in Melbourne. So since 2019, Raiders have won every game that they have played in Melbourne. Melbourne have not beaten the Raiders in Melbourne, not Canberra, since 2018 when they last beat them 44 points to 10. And Melbourne don't usually go back-to-back losses, very rarely, but it's still possible. It's still possible to happen, but for this game, I will go Melbourne to win 1-12. I will go Melbourne to win by 6. I'll go scoreline 24-18. And the final game to wrap up, round 24 of the 2023 NRL series, it is the Newcastle Knights taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Taking place at McDonald Jones Stadium, the Knights versus Bulldogs. Oh boy. The Dogs coming off their third and final bye the week before at Sattler Oval in Bundaberg. They beat the Dolphins by 1 point, 23 points to 22. And as for the Knights, too dominant, winning 5 in a row, beating the Dolphins by only 2 points in Perth last week, 30 points to 28. What a form the Knights have been on. No, I did not expect the Knights to be on an excellent form towards the back end of the season, which is unreal. Now, in the past 10 games between each other, has been 5 games apiece. But Knights have won four of the past five fixtures. However, in recent times, the Dogs have actually had a pretty good record over the Knights in Newcastle. Knights have lost the last 4 games out of 5 against the Bulldogs up in Newcastle. So that's not good. But the Knights have to brag over the last time these two played at the start of July at a Call Stadium. Knights flogged the Dogs 66-0, one of the worst losses ever for the Bulldogs. It's not their worst, but I think it's their second or third worst, or it could be tied. I think it's their third worst, not too sure. But, oh boy, and they've come a long way since then. But for this game, I will back the Knights to win this one. I'm going to go Knights 13 plus. Let's go to Knights to win by 14. I'm going to go scoreline 30-16 up there for the Newcastle fans up there. And that, everyone, will wrap up my round 24 NRL tips of 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, so you don't miss out on another video like this. And don't forget to put on bell notifications so you get notified whenever a video comes out onto my channel. Now, next week, guys, as well, I will be returning to a football game. I have not gone to a footy game in 4 weeks, or it will be a month next week. Next Sunday, up in Newcastle, we'll be taking on the Rabbits taking on the Knights. I'll be up there doing a vlog. If you guys are going, you might see me there, but I'll explain that more in next week's tipping video. But with that out of the way, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you all in the next one. All right, goodbye for now.